welcome back to another Daily Dirty episode. I'm your host, John Croft. How's everybody doing today? Got a couple things I want to talk about in this podcast. This is actually my 12th official podcast. And how this one is going to be, maybe it's just me. So kind of been trying to get this podcast up and going. I created an Instagram account, TikTok, that's another arena that I'm trying to look into, my YouTube, and of course, the places I put the podcast on. And I've been working with some software, so maybe it's just me, but there is nothing free. So I downloaded this software, and let me back up. So there's one that's called DaVinci Resolve, and it's like, I used to DJ back in the day. I did karaoke and some other stuff like that. And I used to make sample beats for people, and I used to sell them. This was way back in the day. And this software just, I'm sure there's some videos on there that I could probably watch. And I watched a couple of them, and there's just a lot going on. Simply all I want to do is this, is I got my show, I got my logo, and I've got the intro music that I want to use. I'm old school. I like old school hip hop. Don't get me wrong. I love pretty much every genre except opera. I'm not a fan of opera. I just can't understand it, and I'm just not that emotional. But I'm old school hip hop. I'm back in the day of breakdancing music. Back then they called it rap, but it's really hip hop. Rap kind of to me just didn't really start coming around, honestly, until NWA and hardcore rap. People used to say Tupac was hardcore, but he wasn't really that hardcore. I like Tupac. Tupac was a really good inspirational. When I had a bad day or a good day or anything like that, I could throw that CD or tape in and just jam out, and just everything just melts away. But just today's music, it's not what this podcast is about. I don't want to go there. But anyway, so there's this song that I liked back in the day, and Tommy Boy was one of it, but it was Planet Patrol. Play at your own risk. Now, I was able to get the song. So, if any of y'all know anything about old school hip hop, I'm talking, African Bambaataa, Planet Rock, Don't Stop the Rock, Look for the Perfect Beat, Cybertron. All the good breakdance music. Back then we fought, but we took it to the dance floor. I wasn't the greatest breakdancer, I'll be honest with you. I was okay. But, that's where you dished out all your shit, was on the dance floor, and that music would just kind of kick in back when Beat Street was out, Breaking Two, Electric Boogaloo, all the good stuff, that was out there, Fat Boys, fun rap, So I was trying to work with some software to try to get that as my intro for my YouTube. And I know on a podcast, like on Spotify and stuff like that, I don't really see anybody use any kind of music or anything like that. But I'm trying to get some graphic stuff to maybe, the DD, Daily Dirty logo kind of spins around or dances to the music until it comes to a stop. And then I hop in and say, hey, welcome to the Daily Dirty. It's work in progress. But kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit and some positive stuff. I really just been watching and listening to podcasts, and my wife's like, just listen to a few podcasts, just pick a couple of genres and just see what they talk about, how their stuff is and their intros and everything. And the thing with me is, and they're good, don't get me wrong, it's just it's not me. I'm trying to find a way to put my spin or my personality on there, and I just don't want you know, it just seems fake. Like, they do shit to their voice and they make everything sound perfect, you know, or they don't repeat words like, but, maybe it's just me. I'm just not getting it. I'm not saying the dumbest motherfucker, but sure the fuck ain't the smartest because I should have had this shit panned out by now. This is my 12th one. So I watched this other guy, and he basically, I think he he said it took him about 300 podcasts before it kind of took off a little bit, got a little bit of tread. And I kind of liked him, and that's kind of, he's not doing exactly what I'm doing, of course, but he kind of went back and said some of his mistakes and things like that, and he still sounds like a freaking AI robot when he talks. His voice is like so perfect. My name is such and such, blah blah blah. It's like, motherfucker, you fake ass. Because I guarantee you out there, I was like, man, this is bullshit. I'm gonna be real raw. My voice is not gonna change. I'm not putting no extra dumb shit on it. I'm not making my shit look perfect. I'm not putting the green screen behind. I'm just not doing none of that shit. If I don't get any followers or anybody that likes it, it is what it is. This isn't just for me. It's for y'all too. But mainly, makes me feel good. You know. And the software is a work in progress, and I know you can't do everything for free, but I mean it's a hobby, and I'm just not trying to invest a ton of money. If I got, they say you got to, pay to play and put some money into it and things like that, but it's like, look at all these reviews, and there's one or two people. My buddy Sean had sent me out this thing, and there was uh, this African American lady. She was like, doing a podcast at 50. She goes, I'm at 50 and I'm starting to do something that I enjoy. In her podcast, I can't remember her name and I don't want to put it in here because I don't, I'm not trying to blow my shit up because I mentioned somebody else, but it was inspiring because she just put it all out there. She started, you know, kind of slow and kind of got into it, and she's good, And then there's another gentleman. He's probably like 60 or 70 years old, but he's good. The thing is with him is he's kind of trying to grasp on to today's technology, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, I should be doing the same thing. I mean, like I said, I'm in IT, but it just, software is just, my mind just doesn't work like that. Maybe I just got like that Neanderthal mind. It just can't get past roadblocks, and I'm trying to get there. And it kind of makes these look shitty compared to, the ones I see out there. But the only difference, honestly, in my eyes, and I could be wrong, is my shit's real, man. I'm sitting here at my house, in my office, in front of my computer, you know, talking. And it's it's getting a little better. I think in some instances, as far as like intros and outros and the graphics and pointing up there, and there's some shit that's right here. I just haven't quite got there. I've been messing around with a few things, and YouTube has a studio that's got some stuff, but I just trying to get in there. And I got a few friends that are actually, I've got a buddy of mine at work. He's actually working on my intro that I'm trying to do for YouTube. And Francisco, he's a really cool cat, man. He's old school. He's DJ. I mean, he messes around with the old school Cubase and Logic and all the other kind of cool software to, sample beats and everything like that. And I don't have that software right now, and I probably could find it. It's just, it's frustrating. I don't really have the ear for it right now or the time. And I hit him up today. I was just like, hey, I got this, YouTube podcast going on, and this is a song. Of course, he's young. He's never even heard the song. He's never really heard the song, but he had said, "Yeah, I'll do it." He goes, "Just what part you listen to?" And I know exactly where I want to cut it, and then where I want to slice it in and fade it out towards the end, and then I jump in, right. So he's like, "Man, you already know how to, do it all. Why ain't you doing it?" I was like, "I just don't have software for it. And, let me look. I'm gonna pull up this software and see if I can find it." So this software is, I think it was Magic Music Studio or something like that, and There's a couple other ones that I downloaded. Uh, some of them are free, but I'm able to get it right where I want it, but I can't save it to a different type of file. Uh, like a MPG or or an audio wave file or something like that. It's only specific to them, and if you want to change it, now you got to pay them. So it's just like, fuck, man, I just put all that work into it and I can't even use it. Now you want me to pay it? Where's the free part at? I got to do it. I got to listen to it. Hey, great. I can't use it. And it's not that it's expensive. That's not, it's like $2.99. I was like, so every time I want to change something up, I got to pay your ass $2.99. I mean, they did put the work into it, so I can't be mad at them. Good hustle, good hustle. But he's working on something for me, and he's going to put in a WAV file. And then the other software that I'm kind of looking at is DaVinci Resolve, which was one of the top ones that's recommended to kind of go in and you can splice in with your videos and you can go and put your bounce and shit or whatever you want to do. The graphic part, I mean, there's a couple of graphic software out there, Adobe Illustrator, things like that, that you can go in and kind of make kind of an animation. I kind of eventually want to do that. There's some other software that I was able to get because I was kind of really wanting to get into making video games. The thing is I suck at video games. I play a mobile game with my wife. My wife is pretty good at it. I'm not that great. I mean, I'm okay, but my wife, she's really into it. She's pretty good, and it's a Diablo Immortal mobile. It's a mobile game, and we played that a little bit. But I kind of wanted to get into it just because I enjoy creating things. Like I wanted to create like a 3D car image or something like that, and just mess around with it. It takes a lot of time for that software. And I was actually looking for that software earlier, but I think it's called Unreal Engine is one of them, and it's all free. It's open source, which I like open source. There's that other one, that Virtual DJ Studio. That didn't work out too well for me. And then there's Blender. Blender is actually really cool too because going in there, I don't like math, but I can do it. So you got to use a lot of geometry and things like that to kind of get things going. And a lot of people use those platforms to build video games, and it's not just for video games. I mean, there's probably some more advanced options out there with companies that do car designs and build designs. I mean, AutoCAD, of course, is what they use. I know back in the day that's an AutoCAD course. Way back, I think it was in the early 2000s. Never took off for me. But playing around with the software is something kind of that requires a lot of time and investment. And it's not that I'm not invested in the podcast. It's hard to just jump in with both feet. I got like a toe in it right now and just testing the waters and seeing where it kind of leads. And the one of the guys that I had mentioned that, his shit's like, oh, perfect now. And he's got the AI voice. He brought up a lot of good points, and a lot of it I've already kind of got down pat. They basically go down this little 5 checklist things. You got the name of your podcast. You don't want it to be too long. You want to be kind of catchy. Kind of what your podcast about. With my shit's all over the place. I mean, between comedy and drama and bullshit and mental health, the ADHD. I mean, there's a million things. I mean, music. I'm kind of playing around with that shit, right? I don't want to be stuck with just one genre. I just want something that's kind of general that, depending on how you're feeling that day, you can play it on the way to work or something. Maybe my voice soothes you or some shit. Some people say that, which I think it's bullshit, but maybe they're, I got to learn how to take a compliment. So working all that together with equipment that you got. Now I had another headset that you can't really see that came with my microphone. Yeah, that shit broke. I probably did it because my office is a mess. I got wires and I got shit everywhere. I'm just a messy IT guy. I need to clean some shit up. But so you got your equipment and everything, but the microphone works pretty good. I've got the mixer. I've kind of been looking into it, and there's a few tools that I don't have software wise that I need to download and install for that mixer to work right. Right now, it's just sort of collecting dust. It's definitely collecting dust. I mean, this thing, it's a G10 mixer. I got all kinds of crap that's plugged into it. But basically, look at that. Yeah, it's not even going to focus on. Anyway, that thing there, it's got all kinds of cool stuff that's in it. And it kind of takes away a little bit of the software, which I don't understand. I got to get software for the hardware in order to make the hardware buttons work. And you can program them. You can do like clapping and all this other kind of stuff. And you can add it and do all this other kind of stuff. But mainly I wanted it because it's good with denoising with the XLRS microphone, which is this thing. I want to eventually get me a boom, kind of bring it down so it's kind of like to the side of my face, because right now it's just, I always want to look down at it because it's like right in your face, right? You're just like, what's in your face, man? But that part, as far as the hardware, I got covered. And then you got into the part that's hardest for me. Your audience. Who do you cater to? I don't cater to nobody, motherfucker. I mean, I start getting defensive with it and shit. I'm like, why are you asking me that? I ain't cater to nobody, man. I'm doing this for me. If someone likes it, great. I gotta get over that. And then the other one is monetization. I know what monetization is. When I first started trying to do a YouTube video on building cars, which I eventually want to get to when we move back to Dallas, and I can hopefully get a shop built and things like that, and have an area where I can actually film what I'm doing. I love mechanics. I love building cars. I don't like doing brakes and shit like that for other people or oil change. Hey, buddy, I see you got a lift, and neighbor, think you can change my oil? No, motherfucker, I can't. Sorry about your luck. Well, you're just not very nice. Well, you take it as you want it. That's just not what I do. Sorry about your luck. But anyway, those kind of things in my mind is just, maybe it's just me, though. Maybe it's just the way I think. Trying to research a little bit more. That guy was pretty good. I can't remember his name. I probably get my phone right now and figure out who he was. I think I got added to my playlist or something on YouTube. But trying to get the hang of it and getting things going. Another person had told me that, you ought to, make you a TikTok and just do your little quick burst of like 90 seconds or a minute. My wife says, I think the longest one is like 5 minutes, and kind of put a burst out there. Of course, me being an idiot, I had to test it out. Of course, nobody's even looking at it, but you ever, oh my God. Let me get rid of this ADHD moment real quick with you guys. So if you ever watch TikTok and you see those people, dear black people, dear white people, dear this. So I love everybody. I don't give a damn where you're from. I give two shakes of shit, man. I don't care. I love everybody. Just as long as you're a genuine person, you got integrity. I don't really care where you come from. I got friends of all walks of life or whatever. I'm mixed. I don't even know what the hell I'm mixed with. I got all kinds of shit in me, but I started when I was like, dear all people, quit being haters. Live your life, or some shit like that. I mean, seriously, let's slowly get into that just a little bit. We're gonna put a toe in it, like I said earlier on some shit. Why do people gotta be like that? Why do people gotta be haters? Is your life so boring that you gotta talk shit about, a different race, a different religion, a different genre, male, female, trans, LBQ, all the way down to Z? Man, live your life. You happy? Man, I'm happy for you. I don't care who you love. I care that you love somebody, and that somebody is special for you, regardless of who it is. What you do in your own personal stuff is your business. I don't want to get in your business. I'm not going to judge you. It's the same with religion. I used to frequent the bars. Not that I was a drunk. It's just I lived alone. Sometimes you got to get out and have a beer and get away from the stillness. And I had conversations with people about Jesus. I didn't judge them for what they think. They didn't judge me for what I think. I'm not against any one religion. I know what I believe in, and that's my path, my road, my journey. I'm not going to judge you for yours. I can't tell you what yours is or what I think about yours because I don't care. All I care about is what, as long as you believe in what you believe in, I'm happy for you, you know. And there's people, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. Well, while I'm sitting there selling ice cream, you're going to be right there next to me, probably be one of my customers, because thou shalt not judge, my friend. That's what I believe in. That's where I get integrity from. I'm not perfect. God knows I'm not perfect. He knows what I'm going to do. And that's my journey. What I believe as far as the Bible, someone else might not believe in. Have I been to church? I've been to many churches. I've been to churches where people talked in tongues. I've been to churches where people were hitting each other with chairs and it was just release this demon. Some odd shit out there. Man, God's probably up there. I swear, man, can't get right. But I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. But I know what I think. Let's get off religion, because that takes us into the deep, dark crevices of hate and BS that people bring it about. It's just like, calm down. It's like race. And just don't talk about it. Just let's just love each other, man. Let's just be cool. I mean, what I honestly, I grew up in a very racist family. Like, if you weren't white, Caucasian, they would, oof, it was bad. I never understand that shit because I don't have a racist bone in my body, except when I'm driving. But I think that's everybody. But anyway, you ever been driving and you're just like, yeah, I won't go there. We all know that. We all know that story. But my whole family's like that. My whole family wasn't religious. You know, they just weren't. I remember whenever I got baptized, I was like 13 years old. And I went to talk to my mom about it because back then they're just like, and of course my mind wasn't where my mind is at now as far as my beliefs and what I feel is good for me in my journey. They're like, oh, you need to go get your loved ones to come to church, spend that money. Preacher need a new car. I don't know if that's what it was, but anyway, that's how I think about it is sometimes. But I remember talking to my mom about it. I was like, hey, you need to find Jesus. The hardest thing, and it's talked about if you ever go into, church. I don't know about all churches, but I know the church I went to. I had a interesting turn of events. I had it was a Southern Baptist, Kessler Park Baptist church. I remember we used to make fun of the pastor. I mean, in a jokingly way, because he had a recording. Of course, we modified it over the years. Back then, whenever you called, they had the tape recorder for the voicemail and stuff like that. I remember our youth master, Brooke Ballard, seeing him years later kind of changed how I thought about religion and kind of prayed and brought the way I think about it now. But I won't get into that just yet. But Pastor Joe Masterson, that was his name. He was white, but he was Southern. I mean, he had a Southern drawl. And we used to make fun of his voicemail when you called it. And it basically went like, hello there, my name is Pastor Joe Masterson of Ancient Mama Church, here to invite you to a barbecue, because that's how he talked. Oh man, I know that sounds racist, but that's how he talked, because he was like, I'm gonna invite you to a barbecue. He always wanted to grill something. And that poor guy, he passed away, and that church just went to hell. The old people there were just like, oh, we don't even need a youth department. And it's just like, man, well, what's going to happen when you pass away? I mean, someone your age is just going to beam down and take your place. I mean, you start off as a kid, youth. Anyway, our youth minister, Brooke, he was a cool cat then. He went through a lot of stuff. He was tested. This man was tested with a lot. And he was a very good youth minister. He He understood a lot in our neighborhood. We lived in a real bad neighborhood in Oak Cliff, man. It was just, it wasn't even about race. Well, it is some, but we didn't. I mean, you saw it because, I mean, you get jumped. I mean, it's either you're in a all Hispanic or all black area, you know, or old white money. So I didn't fit in any of that. I just got along with everybody, but I got jumped a lot. I got jumped like by a lot of Hispanics, man. They just, man. But anyway, he knew that just a lot went down. We were all poor, and I mean, I'm still poor, but we were just poor. I mean, food stamps back when food stamps looked like money, fake money, monopoly money. Remember, my mom used to send us stuff to Piggly Wiggly on the corner, over off Bishop Avenue. Back then, they let kids do that. It was about 3 blocks away. I think I was like 6 or 7 years old walking with my sister. My sister was like 9, walking down to Piggly Wiggly. And she'd give us a $20 food stamp and tell us, go in there and buy some bread. And then they're going to give you money back and we're going to use that for gas. Because they don't have the shit. You can't use any card back then to put gas in your car. You know, you had to have cash. How'd you get the cash? You took that food stamp. You paid for something and they gave you cash back because they didn't have, you know, quarters and nickel food stamp. They had bills. So instead of just doing all that, they just hand you money. Anywho, so the whole youth department was just, we all walked out. And did this whole thing where we just swept our feet when we walked out. Just, you know, it's an old Greek thing that, you know, Brooke used to talk about. This guy, man, I don't know, maybe it was just me. He just seemed like he was happy all the time. And the last time I was there, I think I was like 13. And then I was only there because I was in and out of Buckner's Children's Home. And I got baptized. And then the last time I saw him was when everybody kind of left the church thing. And then I was just home visiting. And then I ran away from Children's Home, from Buckner's. I was 14. Never looked back. You know, never, I didn't see him. I wouldn't say never, sorry. I saw him again because I joined the military. And I joined the military when I was 20. And I was getting out in 2001. And I was stationed over at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Right outside Lawton. A lot of bullshit. Anyway. And I was going out and I saw this guy, man. He was. I can cuss. My mom used to teach me how to cuss. She didn't know she taught me, but she taught me well. That bitch cussed like a motherfucker. Like, I think she made up a few cuss words. You probably look it up and see a picture of mom saying, this is who made this word. This dude was cussing, talking about who he banged the night before and stuff like that. I was like, somebody's having a good old time. And I turned around and I saw his name tag before I saw him and it said Ballard. And sure as shit, it was my youth minister, you know. I looked at him and I was Brooke. And he just kind of looked at me. Of course, he doesn't recognize me. I mean, this was like, see, 14, 6, 16 years later, you know. I'm like, what's up, man? And he kind of looked at my name and he was like, you seem familiar. And I was like, yeah. I was in your youth department at Kessler Park Baptist Church back in the day. And I went by Cecil then. That's my middle name. And that's just what he liked to call me because he liked the name Cecil. My wife likes the name Cecil. I think I was named after a donkey or some shit. That's how jacked up my family is. But he used to call me Cecil because he liked it, the Cecil and Crofts. And he was like, Cecil, what are you doing here? I was like, man, what are you doing here? I was like, what are you doing in the military? I was like, what? I mean, I didn't want to say, damn, motherfucker, you were cussing. You was a youth minister, man. What the hell happened to you? And I guess he kind of read that look on my face. And he was like, well, after the whole Kessler Park incident, he's like, things just didn't go well. He's like, my wife ended up cheating on me. and they never had any kids that I know of. I don't know. I'll have to look him up on Facebook one day, but he got dark. I mean, years later, he got dark, and I'll tell you about that here in a second. I'm not going to make this terribly too long, but he, like, man, this dude, he was just telling me all this stuff, and it was like, in me, I got this thing, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I got this thing where if I know I did something wrong, I get this feeling in my stomach, and it's just like it gritches me. You know, like I went off on my neighbor the other day, H, the one that's property is kind of next to mine, but we got Switzerland between, because dude's fucking annoying, man. He just, you know, and I try to be nice, and it's like, I'm trying not to have a squirrel moment here, but this just to kind of give you, you know, the gut wrenching thing that I had. He don't have any friends. He does not have any friends, right? Let me learn how to speak some proper English. He doesn't have any friends that I know of, and he has my number. And I told him, I was like, look, dude, I work from home, man. And those times when he's out of a job, he just drives up here in this loud, crappy ass freaking little motorbikes he puts together, get my dogs all riled up and shit like that, coming and knocking on my door and crap. And I'm like, dude. And this day, I was having a bad day. Like my testosterone, I was still trying to figure out how to balance my estrogen and my testosterone. I'm not saying it's perfect now, but it's way the fuck better. And I walked out, and I'm just like, what? He's like, what are you doing? I'm fucking working, dude. What do you need? Is it an emergency? Somebody dead or something? Nah, man. I'm just saying what you're up to. I was like, didn't I tell you last time to send me a text? Yeah, but you didn't respond. Well, guess what that means, motherfucker? That means I'm busy. You know? That's what the fuck that means. That doesn't mean drive all the way down here. I just don't drive down here. I was like, because I'll talk to customers, and I got all this five dog yapping in my freaking ear because this whole house freaking echoes. You come down here just to see what I'm up to. If it was an emergency, I'd feel a little bit better about it. I was like, fucking quit coming down here, man. Stay on your freaking side. Don't come knocking on my door. None of that shit. He looked like a sad puppy, man. Like someone kicked him in the balls. Put his head down. Went back to his little motorbike and went back down to his part of town. He left, and I sat there and I came back into my office, and I just had this feeling in my gut. I was just like, fuck, man, I shouldn't have done that. So when I got off work, I went down there and I was like, hey, man, I got to talk to you real quick. He's like, what's up, man? I was like, I'm sorry. He was like, sorry for what? I was like, for being an asshole, man. You didn't deserve that. I was like, I was just having a bad day, you know, adding the dogs to it and trying to finish out my day. You know, I don't really have an excuse. All I want to tell you is that I'm sorry and I feel bad. You know, I don't like being that person, and if I'm wrong, I'm gonna say something about it. Integrity. And he was like, wow. You know, he was kind of taken aback, and he just kind of looked at me and was like, man. He was okay. Now, that didn't go the way I thought it would in my mind. Me, I was apologizing as a man to man. You know, it wasn't like I wanted to be your blood brother or some shit. You know, I guess that's how he took it. The delivery, I thought the delivery was good. Apparently, he took it a totally different fucking way, because that motherfucker is like, he doesn't come down to my house that often anymore, but he works at the damn. I shouldn't laugh. God forgive me. This dude works down at the Love's gas station. They got him out there spraying freaking concrete and shit, washing all the oil stains and shit off or whatever. But anyway, every time he sees him, man, it just lights up his day. And I feel kind of bad because I'm not his friend. You know, I'm just that if you need something, like you really need something, like if somebody's dying or some shit, you know, or you need me to help you lift something up or, you know, or something, I'll be there for you. But I don't mean I want to be drinking buddies or some shit. Anyway, that's the gun instinct that I got. When I was talking to Brooke, kind of felt that. I was like, I felt so bad for the guy. And I'm just like, man, he takes somebody, I mean, he's that kind of person back in the day where you enjoyed being around because he just uplifted the room. You felt the Holy Spirit moving when he was talking, and he was genuine and he was real because he was. But he got wrecked. His wife cheated on him. I mean, he lost his job. I mean, man, shit got dark for him. And I felt that in my stomach. And I was trying to, come up with some words of encouragement for him. But it was just, there was also that, I had that angel and the devil. The devil was actually quiet because he was just like, man, he got wrecked. The angel was like, ain't nothing you can say, brother, that's going to even change his mind or make him feel any better. So I just told him, I was like, man, I'm sorry you had it bad, brother. And he just kind of blew it off. He was like, oh, that's all good. I'm better now. I feel free. Okay, free. I could go deep into what he probably was thinking with that or feeling. Shit, I don't know. I was like, all right, man. He's like, you gonna be around later? Nope. Once EOS, end of shift, man, I'm gone. I'm going home. I'm going back to Dallas, man. I've been here too damn long. I'm out. I'm done. Tired of dealing with the military shit. I'm gone. I was like, if you're back in Dallas, man, here's my number. Hit me up. Never hit me up or anything like that. But the whole thing with everything on TikTok, and the reason why I was bringing that up is how everybody just brings up all this hate. I'm not the one that's going to change that. I can change it for me. I can change it. My wife changes it for me. My wife's my rock. Anytime I'm down or anytime I'm having a bad day, she puts up with my bullshit. She should have left my ass a long time ago, but I love her for staying. Tell you about it. You've never been on testosterone, man. It's a different thing. I didn't get the one to screw everything that wasn't nailed down. I got the jealousy and the freaking temper. It was bad. I mean, I never struck my wife. She beat the hell out of me. She knocked me the fuck out. But your mind, it's like you're sitting here watching your body do things that you don't have any control of. It's like you're sitting at the passenger seat and somebody else is driving, which is testosterone. It's a real shitty feeling, man. It took me a minute to get that shit under control. I never had it growing up, But the whole thing I kind of wanted to say in this podcast is I'm not giving up on trying to make some things work. This helps me mentally being able to talk to whoever's listening. Is anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? And I'm trying to work out the kinks. It's boring to some people. It's like, man, I just want to hear this dude talking or whatever. And I get that. I've even employed people to, hey, I feel bad saying, hey, respond to me because it helps me out. But it'll help me out if you respond to me and say, hey, throw me some tips, man. Meaning like, maybe you should try this software or check out this video or, let's network. If anybody out there is starting a new podcast, do it how you want to do it because I'm going to do it how the hell I'm going to do it. But this is raw. There's probably better ways of doing it. I don't think I'm going to change it very much. I mean, I might be able to make, some intros or more exciting. I'm not going to change the way I talk. I'm not proper English. I'm not going to sit up all Prince Tidy in this motherfucker in a nice shirt. Where the fuck I'm wearing? That's what this video is going to be on. I mean, this is my workout shirt, But hell, the other day I was in pajamas, torn up ass freaking concert t-shirt. And we got a bunch of concert t-shirts, all those things. But, and I say but a lot. There's some things I'm lazy because I go through here and I could probably use the software that I currently got and go through and it's got this AI shit that it makes a transcript of all the stuff that you say. And it if you want to cut this out, it's like, oh, take out the ifs, buts, stands, and da-da-da. But it's like, man, isn't that like a run-on sentence if I don't do that shit? Fuck, man, you gonna throw some shit in, it's not me? I mean, you gotta take samples of my voice and make it sound right? Why would I do that? And that's what people do. I see it. I watch it on there. And I was like, man, there's no way you talk like that, man. It's like sometimes I want to meet one of these, there's a comedy portion of this shit. Sometimes I want to meet one of the podcast people and just see how they really are. Oh, they're sitting there eating a McDonald's burger and shit, sitting there saying, oh, I'm a fit guy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're chomping down on a freaking Big Mac and shit, stuffing his face with fries and a freaking soda and shit. And I'd be like, oh, you lying motherfucker. Wouldn't that be funny? Be like, oh, that ain't me. Yeah, motherfucker. I'm like, yo, I got you on TikTok now. Cocksucker. That's just wrong. mm. Yeah, that's fucked up. I got a fucked up sense of humor, though. That's another thing. I know I keep bringing my wife up about, I love her to death. I'm not in trouble or anything. I'm not kissing her ass, but we just sometimes we're people watchers, and we can be walking somewhere and we can see somebody, and it's not that I'm judging them. I'm probably am, but I'm not trying to judge somebody like that. They can't help it. I mean, I'm a goofy looking motherfucker, right? There's somebody probably out there making fun of my ass, so it's the circle of life, motherfucker. That's how I see it. It's a circle of life. Someone's probably making fun of me, and I'm just making it back around. You know what I'm saying? But we look over each other, and we know exactly what we're thinking about that person that's walking. Maybe they just, oh man, I'm over trying, saying, not everybody's racist or anything. We're not trying to talk about, but there's some shit in the country that I don't. It's not that I'm racist against them. I will say I'm judgmental against them. Oh my gosh, some of the shit that they wear, it's just like, it's like Walmart 2.0. It's like, man, did you escape from Walmart or some shit? Jesus, this lady, like, she wasn't pregnant, but she had a fupa from hell, and she had like one of those tube top situations going and belly just all hanging out and shit. And I understand pregnant women, man. I think that's beautiful. I mean, I don't want kids. I don't want my wife don't want any kids or anything like that, But this chick was not pregnant. She had either a beer belly or a bakery belly or fucking something or tumor or some shit going on. But it looked like a fucking busted can of biscuits, man. That shit was just. It's like, man, cover some of that shit up, man. I mean, like if I walk out, like my ass showing or something, there's people that do that. But you get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna walk out, and having all this manliness, and I'm just not gonna do that. But all this stuff hanging out, it's just like, man, have a little bit of decency. Now, if you was a Walmart, I would. You're used to shit Walmart, but out in public, outside of Walmart, I mean, Walmart's like a Twilight Zone and shit. It's like, man, you escaped from Walmart. Holy shit. Somebody fix that can of biscuits. But yeah. So I'm trying to get better at the stuff. Squirrel moment a couple times. Kind of ran them out there. I only want to make this 30 minutes, and we're sitting at like 43 minutes and whatnot. But I'm a talker. My ADHD kicks in. I'm trying to get to the point. What was my point? Yeah. Oh, maybe it's just me. Those are some maybe it's just me things, because if anybody else has ever sees some shit or thinks some shit or about software or a better way of doing anything, just let me know. And like I said in my last video, try not to be hateful, because I'm not gonna be hateful to you. If you're gonna be hateful and you want to be negative, I mean, no matter what I say, you're gonna be the way that you're gonna be. I'm not gonna try to change you. That's just it. You are who you are. You are gonna be who you're gonna be. I just ask politely, have some integrity, if it's something I'm doing wrong, you can be a little nasty, like, motherfucker, look, dude, figure your shit out, man. Quit repeating shit. I'm okay with that. Maybe say, like, man, you white motherfucker, you better, hey, you stupid. Now you say some shit like that, well, I'll probably agree with you, because I might be a little stupid, but you get my point. Some hateful shit. I don't even know how to say some hateful shit, because I'm not that hateful. I talk a lot of shit, though. I talk a lot of shit. I grew up talking shit. That's just how it was. But I say but a lot. I'm not cutting that shit out either. I got the wrinkles in my head, too. Well, I'm 50. Come on. But I'm going to cut it here. And I'm actually going to cut it here. I hope everybody has a blessed day. Thank you for watching the Daily Dirty. And this episode's going to be, maybe it's just me. It's my 12th one. I will be putting it up on YouTube. It will be on Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeart. And whenever I figure out the Google Play, Apple BS shit that they can't even figure it out, if I can get that shit figured out, I'll have it on there. I'm sure there's some other ones. If I start getting some more people viewing and get a little bit more, I might spend a little scratch to make some improvements. But if y'all know something that I don't have to spend a lot of money on, because I just don't trust someone that's already made it. You already made it, man. You got like an ass ton of subscribers, And I was telling my wife, all right, this is going to be a little bit longer. Sorry. So I was telling my wife, earlier today or yesterday, I was just like, there's people out there and they show these, these YouTubes of how to start a podcast. It's just that easy. Okay. So day one, your shit looks like this. I want to see where you began. Show me your mistakes. Show me where you failed and got back up. That's why I'm doing this, so I can show people that even though if you have a fear or something, it's not trying to be motivational, it's just being dead honest. This might not go nowhere, but I'm trying to stay positive. It possibly could help somebody. There's that one thing about, I talk about journeys life, journeys in your life and the path that you're on. There might be just that one person just randomly might see something I say on here and be like, man, one of a few things. Fuck, man, I thought my life was bad. And here's this dumb motherfucker. It could be something like that, but it could be something nicer. Like, man, that dude's got a soothing voice. It just seems like he's been through some stuff and he's trying to make it work. He's handling up. Doing the best he can with what he's got to work with. I've got more to work with than he's got, and I'm over here bitching. You know what? I think I'm going to do better. And then he might be the next person to invent some shit that helps like starving dogs in China or some shit, or Nobel Peace Prize, or invent something that's going to help people out. You never know. Fucking seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But if it happens, that'd be cool, right? But anyway, everybody have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I think I'm at like 47 minutes and some odd. It's going to take me forever to upload this bullshit because my slow country internet. Hit me up. Let me know what's up. Say hi. If you're working on something, I'll say hi on yours. Let's network. Let's help each other get up. You know what I'm saying? It's this. I don't care where you're from, what you got going on. If I got to translate some shit out, man, I got Google Translate. I don't care where you're from. Let's just get together and see if we can all make something work. Take it easy. Again, thank you for watching Daily Dirty. Peace.